And on this episode of Color Me Surprised, we have this from Deadline. The Acolyte canceled. No Season 2 for Disney Plus's Star Wars series. Honestly, truthfully, I'm a little shocked by this. Because Disney's motto right now is down with the ship. All in on the worst ideas known to mankind. The fact that this show got greenlit originally is telling of the state of Disney right now. Also, wait a second. Kathleen Kennedy axed this show? Because Kathleen Kennedy is in charge of Lucasfilms, right? You're telling me that Kathleen Kennedy, who greenlit this series to begin with, who had an elevator conversation with Leslie Headland and said, oh, this sounds like a fantastic idea. Frozen meets Kill Bill, I think is what they were trying to book it as. So, what does that tell you about Kathleen Kennedy at this point? So it makes me wonder, what is going to happen with this show in the timeline of Star Wars? Are they going to just delete it entirely, saying that it's a non-canon show at all? I wouldn't be surprised. They should bury this thing entirely. I wouldn't be shocked if it leaves Disney Plus within the next couple of months, because it started off strong. To its credit, there was a lot of buzz about this show. It was in the top 10 in the Nielsen ratings. Granted, there's really not a lot of shows out these days, so they were very strategic when they put this show out there. Because it says here, June 4th, with 2 episodes airing, it generated 4.8 million views its first day. That's not a bad number at all. It's just, of course, afterwards, it dive bombed because the show was just hysterically unwatchable. And I don't think the people that wrote this show, Leslie Headland, actually watched any Star Wars products before this. Which is weird because this is supposed to be a canon show. This is a prequel show that's going to lead into everything else. I mean, the last episode ended where we're going to see Dark Plagueis. So that was at least something they were trying to build off of to give that guy a backstory. So of course it's good if they got rid of the show because, man, what were they going to do to that guy? So I do have to ask a realistic question, just to Leslie Headland. Was it worth it? Was it worth making a hysterically overpriced show? I've read $180 million, and this is what you gave us? Where did the money go? We didn't get the greatest CGI of all time. We didn't get the greatest force battles of all time. Granted, there were some interesting moments of them, but overall, this wasn't cutting edge. It didn't push the boundaries of what we can do on a screen at all. The fight scenes were kind of boring and bland for the most part, so not a lot of work or production value went into that. So where did the $180 million go? So yeah, in the end, I'm actually really surprised. Because they did end this season with something happening. They showed Dark Plagueis, so they had something lined up for them. So how did Kathleen Kennedy, what did she see that made her say, you know what, let's pull the plug on this entirely? Because if she realized it, is it possible? Is there any hope for Star Wars going forward? I mean, we got the Rey trilogy coming up, the next Rey sequel trilogy, and that's going to be a gargantuan box office bomb. So I do wonder what Kathleen Kennedy is going to do going forward with this. Because the writing's on the wall. We don't want this crap anymore. So realistically, there's no reason to continue with these things. Mandalorian Grogu's not going to make any money at all. Looks like a box office bomb. Skeleton Crew is just, Goonies in space. It doesn't look that interesting at all. And all the other series you've made so far, no one cares about them. I think Ahsoka got greenlit for a second season, but who cares? There was nothing compelling about that show. Obi-Wan Kenobi's not getting a second season. No one cared about that. The Mandalorian is the only one that has any legs at all, and that's close to being done. No one cares about that show anymore. Book of Boba Fett was a hysterical flop. I mean, you guys did nothing right. Star Wars is a money-printed machine, an infinite money glitch, with a very loyal and dedicated fan base, and you hired people that don't even know the lore? I'm not even the biggest Star Wars fan, and I knew stuff that shouldn't have been in it. I knew things that didn't make any sense with the show. So I guess, in the end, what do you guys think about that?
Help me get one more, just one more.